Good morning, my dear learners. Today too, we are going to learn how to plot points on the graph. Before we move on, I would plead with you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It doesn't take a long time and it doesn't take anything from you. So please, with all due respect, do so for me. Now, let us see how we can plot points on the graph. Looking on your screen, for every point we have x value and y value. The x coordinate and y coordinate. The x first for the y. So when you are given a point, you look for the first value on the x-axis and the second value on the y-axis. Now, let us consider the following questions. But before that, let me tell you that you have to pick your graph book or graph sheet and your pencils so that you can do it with me and we'll all learn practically together. So let's look at our question. The A part states that draw a Cartesian plane of 2 centimeters to 1 unit on the x-axis and 2 centimeters to 2 units on the y-axis. So our first thing to do is to draw our Cartesian plane, which you see, you label it as your y and x accordingly. Always when you draw your Cartesian plane, make sure you label your y and your x axis. So from the question, it says that 2 centimeters to 1 unit on the x-axis, meaning that for every 2 centimeters, for every big box, label it as 1. So that is what you see on the screen: 1, 2, 3, and so on. And to the left, we have -1 or 1, 2, 3, but because it is to the left, you have to negate them. Now, on the y-axis, it says that 2 centimeters is to 2 units. So that is what you see on the screen. We have 2, then you add another 2, 4, 6. Then down we have 2, 4, 6, but you have to negate them because down the x-axis we have the negative y values, and up the x-axis we have the positive y values. Now that you have been able to draw your Cartesian plane according to the scale provided, let's move on. But before I plot the points at the B side of the question, let me tell you that on your graph, For every big box, you have 10 lines, whilst I have 5 lines. Take note of that. Let's move on. Plot the following points on it. T -3, 2. Before you plot every point, you have to assume that you are at the origin where the y and the x axis meet. That is where you are. So for -3, which is on the x axis, you have to move to your left on the x axis to locate -3. So look at how we are going. Look at how you are going to locate the -3. We are closer to -3. That is it. Now for the y value, it is 2. So on -3, you move straight away up the y-axis to locate 2. Don't turn left or right, just move up straight. So we are moving up till we find 2. Good. And this is where 2 is. So that is where -3 and 2 on the y-axis meet. Now we can plot our point and label it as such. So we are done. That is our point T. The second point is Q, 1, -5. 1. So at the origin, for us to get 1, we have to move to the right. So I am moving on the right till I find 1 on the x axis. Good, that is 1. Then y is -5, which means that I must move down the x axis, below the x axis. So at 1, I will move straight till I find -5 on the x axis. So I'll move. Now I am on 2, I'm on 4. Good, I am on 5. So I have to plot my point beautifully. The next point is R, -2, -6. For -2, -6, we have to move to the left side on the x-axis to locate -2. So let's do that. Let's do that till we locate -2. Good. Then -6 is down the x-axis, -6. So we will move straight forward down the x-axis till we find -6 on the y-axis, then we stop there. So we are on -2, -4, then we have reached -6. That is our -6. So that is where we are to plot our point out. So immediately you locate where you have to plot your point, then you do that and you label it well. So that is the point R. Let's try and plot M. M is -1.43. So we have to move to the left of the x-axis. From the origin, we move to the left side. So we locate -1. Then from -1 we count. You would count 4 lines, and I would, on mine, it would be only 2. Good. So I have my -1.4. So from -1, you on your graph have to count 4 lines. Then the y coordinate is +3. So we move up there to find our 3. Good. So on your graph, above 2, you have to count 5 lines to get y coordinate, which is 3. So let me plot my point M at that side. So it is also being plotted. And then our last one. The last one, which is N, is 8 on 10, 4. Because this is fraction, we have to change it to decimal as it is in point M. So 8 on 10 would be 0.8. So this is 0.84. On the x-axis, 0.8 would be closer to 1. So we move to the right on the x-axis till we find 0.8. You have to count 8 lines on your graph to get the 0.8. Then that is where I am, and I will move up till I find 4 on the y-axis. So I am going to move up, no libi, no laba. So I find my 4 on the y-axis. That is 0.84 on the x-axis. So that is where I will plot my point N at. The way how these points have been plotted and being well explained, I hope you would be able to plot any point on the Cartesian plane. If you still have a problem with it, watch the video over and over again, and I hope you would understand it. I would like to end here by saying that I beg of you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. May God be with you all till we meet again. Bye.